Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about static site generators. So let's get into it. Now, the other day a subscriber of mine reached out and asked, Fredrik, can you in layman's terms explain what a static site generator actually is? And I thought, hey, let's give it a bash. Let's see if I can do that for you. So in essence, what a static site generator allows you to do is that it allows you to generate a static website. Sounds silly, but that's exactly what it does. Now, the way it works for the most, I mean, there are several out there who will have different features and so forth, but the backbone idea of a static site generator is that you, as the content provider, create either a configuration or something of that, depending on how customizable this generator actually is. And then you provide the data, usually in the format of, say, markdown files or images or JSON files or XML files, whatever. They have different formats, and usually what it's called is basically a data source. You have some type of data that you want to be included in the end website that is going to be produced from the site generator. So what the site generator is now going to do is that it's going to grab those files, depending on, you read through the documentation, you just put things in the right place and in accordance to the configurations, right? And then it's basically just about running the server. And depending on which one you're using, either they just spit out a distribution folder with all the generated HTML and CSS and all that good stuff, combined with the data that you have provided, or it's just a server that runs as any web server. Now, this allows you to basically do what most beginner web programmers will try to do. Like, usually when you start out doing web programming, you're going to make your first website, and it's going to be a static website. And a static website, what do we mean by a static website, is just that the content doesn't change. There's no rendering going on. There's no dynamic data. And that basically means that it's just an HTML file with maybe some CSS and styles and so forth, right? So there's no dynamic information. It's just a static file. Now, the benefit to this is that you can, without any, usually these are websites that are for a beginner or for somebody who wants to get something very quickly up and running. It's actually very easy, and it's going to be I will have to say that it's a fairly perfect fit for people who let's say that you're a blogger and you wanted something that looks a little bit more custom, and you have a little bit of freedom to kind of wiggle around and maybe tweak some things in a fashion that, say, something like WordPress or Django or something like that can't really give you. Then this is a perfect solution, because usually it is as easy as running the command with the correct folders and the correct files on the file system. And then you have something running, and you can deploy that usually to almost any web server, and then you're done. So if you don't want your personal blog to look exactly like every single WordPress theme or something of that nature, then this is a great solution. Now, when you use this, if you want to think about it in professional terms, the only time I would say that it's a thing that is going to give you, for professional work, this is not something that you're going to give to your customers. This is, I would say that static site generators they're not that common in professional development. It's something that you do you use this, in my personal opinion, for hobby level projects, or if you want to make a wiki, or if you have some need of creating a static website really, really quickly, and for some reason you don't have the time or the energy to put in to making it custom and making things look nice and so forth. I mean, that's usually why I say that this is hobby level programming, because if you are a professional programmer or somebody who knows your stuff, you won't really have a need for this, as I said, unless it really is saving you a lot of time and it perfectly fits into what you want to be able to do. So that's when I would use it. Now, I wanted to touch on something as well. When it comes to static site generators, this is not something that you should make a portfolio from. Just putting it out there. for the beginners out there. You may think that this is really convenient, and it is very convenient, but this is sort of the same sort of situation where if you come to a job interview and your portfolio is a bunch of WordPress sites that you just tweak the CSS a little bit of, that's not going to impress anybody. At least not in professional circles, because you haven't done anything, you don't have any knowledge. Like, this tool is literally doing absolutely everything for you. It's the same thing I will tell you about Dreamweaver. I've met people who have spent years working at a professional quote-unquote level as developers, and they use Dreamweaver's drag and drop features in order to lay out all of their websites. And when it came time for them to actually become Java developers in this scenario, they couldn't actually produce any HTML. They didn't understand how any of it worked, because the tool literally does everything for you. A static site generator is very much the same sort of thing. Now, there are absolutely flavors of static site generators which allows you to do some coding in more, but they kind of do it in a very, very controlled manner, so it's not really the same thing. So to summarize, a static site generator is a tool that allows you to just provide data, and it will produce the required website for you. It's great if you want something very quickly up and running and your use case is fairly simple, but it's not something that is professional level software. Using static site generators is a shortcut to getting a website up and running. Have a great day.